Okay, very vital for you. We will not going to chase you every day. It is up to you to learn. Anyway, so this is what we have done so far, is that we have covered the validation rules, right? Which is a logic to create your own logic, to like create your own data sanity, right? If you want the data to be entered according to your specific conditions, in that case it is very vital that you go and create validation rules. And validation rules is also needed when if you want to use standard fields and want to make it mandatory at some point, right? So that we covered as validation rules today. And validation rules fires when? Anybody?
When it is wrong.
When it is wrong, absolutely. But uh, at what time?
Tell you
When
something.
does it?
If
At the time of save.
At the time
When
of
we
the
save the
correct.
if the
So
condition if the condition is truth, don't save the record.
that's correct. तार माने it before save, it fires before save, है ना? That
Yes.
means when you click the save button, at that point first the validation rules will fire, and then if it passes, then only it will actually save this into the record in the database, है ना?
Right.
If the validation rule is blocking it, then actually the record changes or the record creation will not work, right?
Yes.
So validation rule actually is basically firing before saving of that actual record into the database. But of course, you have to click the save button. Okay. Any confusion here?
No.
So it is basically a event that fires before save. Now we will discuss automation. What is automation? Automation tools or automation processes. Automation tools. What are the different automation tools? Automation tools are logic which does some work or it takes some action automatically. So you can automate many clicking of buttons through automation tools. That means users has to work less. Automatically you can put some logic so that user does not have to manually do many tasks. Okay. That is automation tools. What are the different automation tools we have? Primarily three types: workflow rules, process builders, and flows. Okay. Workflow always fires after save. That means after the record is saved into the database. Process builder also fires after save. Flow can fire before save or after save, both. You can decide when to fire the flow. Okay. Another major difference is that workflow does not have any UI. That means there are no screens. You cannot create any screens. In process builder also, you cannot create any screens. In flows, you can have screens or UI, user interface. Okay. So if somebody is talking about UI, he's talking about screens. Okay. You can create your own screens in flows, but workflow and process builders they do not have. Workflow and process builder are getting deprecated. Salesforce has already told that do not create new workflows or process builders. Everything will be from now in flows. Okay. Flows are of 5 types. We will discuss 3 major types today, and we will show you workflow and process builders just if there are existing workflow and process builders which you have to convert to flows, which will be a project in itself. Many times it will be used. Just to understand how a flow or workflow works, a process builder will go through this for you once. But do not create any flows and process builders. Always create flows. Any questions?
So what does that mean after save? Like even if our criteria doesn't get matched, then also our record will get saved into the database.
No. In validation rule, if the criteria does not match, the
Then it doesn't get saved
it's
because
a get saved.
before save it hits the criteria.
That's correct. So it will block you. It's a blocker, right? For
Yeah.
saving. Right? But here, workflow and process builder are basically getting fired after saving. That means your validation rule has checked that data, there is no problem, and that data has got created, and then basically this will fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see that in action. We are on our org. If you go to setup, you will see, you are able to see my screen, right? Okay. Automation, if you automation tools, you will see that it lists everything. Process automation, you will list everything. What are flows we talked about? We talked about workflow rules. We talked about process builders. Okay. So let's start with the most simple, which is workflow rules. Again, I said do not create new workflow rules. Salesforce will be deprecating this very soon. There would be no workflow rules you can create in future. So do not use it. Just it is for your knowledge so that you understand, because there would be projects which will say that now migrate all the workflow rules into. So you have to understand what the workflow rule is, how it will work. So you see, try using a flow builder. Whenever you are creating the workflow rules, it will ask you to create flow builder. So flows is the future. So use flows. Flows is the very important topic. All your admin, if you do not know flows, you are not an admin. Okay. So for now, let's use the flows. Sorry, workflows. So let's see. If I will writing a flow on account, and this is an account create flow. Yeah. And when I want this to be, I will fire this evaluation criteria, means I will fire this flow when the record is getting created. The other criteria is record is created and every time it is edited. So every time there is a save button click, always it will fire. And this is created and anytime it is edited to subsequently meet criteria, means there is a criteria which you put here. So when the criteria is matched, it will fire only once. If you hit the save button again, it will not work because the criteria has already matched. So so the first time it matches the criteria, it will fire. Okay. So if you want that criteria to be checked only once, and then from next time onwards, the save button should not. If the criteria changes again, then it will not fire. And again, you change that criteria to meet the condition. Again, the workflow rule will fire. Okay. The idea is if you are changing the value of the field and equating with the criteria, then only it will fire. Otherwise, it will not fire. That is the third criteria. Okay. So it will check if you change that field value and now it is meeting the criteria or not. Okay. So two things. Remember that. Any question, confusion? So now. So let's use this and understand this. So I want this rule to fire when it is created and anytime it is edited to subsequently meet criteria. What is the criteria? Account has to be active. So it will fire only once. If it is made active, if it is again made inactive and then made active, it will fire again. Okay. So what are the different things you can do in a workflow? Very small set of things. You can create a new task. Let's create a task. So I will create a task to this user. I will say call customer, and I will say due date of this task is created date plus 3 days. That means accounts created dates plus 3 days later. and I will make it high. Status, and I will save this. So create a task is a action which I can add. I can add other actions. Uh, I can add email alert. For creating an email alert, you need an email template. That means what kind of email I will send. So let's go and create an email template. So email template. There are two kinds of email templates: classic and lightning email templates. Classic is by default you can use, so I will keep using this. So you can have multiple types of email templates: text, HTML. Let's use text. Text HTML means you can use bold, italics, and format your text. And text is quite simple. So you have to use this unified public classic email template and available for use. Otherwise, you cannot use the email template. So this I will create the account create unit temple, and this is the unique name. Description is not needed. Subject will be account created. Okay, what is this value? So hi, account is created and made active. This is my email body, right? But if then all accounts I create, right? Every time I will get this same message. I will not able to distinguish this mail came from which account creation, right? So I will have to use smart tags. What is smart tags? Smart tags is actual value from database that I can show. So I will go to account fields. I will select which field I want to show, account name. So it will create a smart tag for me on the top. I will copy paste and I will put it here. This hyphen is just a text. I can put anything else. I can put colon also. It doesn't matter. So account colon, then I will put this smart tag. So this will be replaced on the fly when the actual account with the actual account value. The account name field data will get saved here. Any questions on the smart tag? I am going back to workflow. I will go to account create once again, edit this, and add now the email alert. So this time I am creating email alert. So account create email, unique ID, email template. Now I will choose this email template which I created right now, right? And I will send this to probably the account owner, this mail, right? And save. Third thing I can do is that I can do field update. That means automatically populating some field value. So let's see account create is the field value. Which field I want to update? Maybe the description field. What is the description field? Description field. Here I will say use a formula. I can put this this text is created from workflow. There is another action which I am not discussing, which is outbound message. This is used for integration. Integration means sending data from Salesforce to outside Salesforce. Advanced topic, will not discuss this. So now let's go to the workflow rule. Open the workflow rule and activate it. It is very important to understand validation rule automatically is activated, but workflow rules needs to be activated. Okay. So now let's see what happens. So I go to the account now. I will create a new account. Account name, test account 1. And if I save it, and let's check my email ID. Let's go back and in Gmail, let me bring my email ID. Give me 1 second. So I am now on my email ID and I will watch what happens. Okay. So let's see. So where is my Salesforce? Here. So will this fire a workflow rule if I save this? Just save it. Anything? Nothing has happened. Why? Any questions? How to fire that email ID? I had put a condition, right? Active has to be yes. That is why it is not firing. So now if I put active as yes, let's see what happens. I see I have got a mail. What is this? Account colon and then the account name which I am putting is created and made active. What else is happening? If I go to this account, you see call a customer activity has also got created, right? What else is happening? If I go to the description, this text is created from workflow rule. You see, so 3 automatic actions has also has taken using workflow rule. If I edit this now and save it, it does not create another action. It does not send me another mail. Yeah. Why? Because because the criteria is the same. Criteria did not change. But if I edit this, make this to no, save it, because now the criteria is not matching, it will not send anything. Again, nothing. But if I again make this true and save, then I will get that email once again because it is meeting criteria now again. Any questions so far? But you will get always mail if you chose the second criteria in the workflow rules. That is evaluation criteria. If you made this to whenever the condition is met, it will fire. So please remember, if you choose this one, that means it will only fire once when the condition is matching and remains the same. If it changes again and then you make it back into this condition, then it will again fire. Okay, and it allows you 4 kinds of actions only. What actions? It allows you to create a task, it sends email, update a field, and outbound messages. Okay, that is the work of a workflow rule. That's it. Any questions?
No, it's okay.
Now we'll go and see the next kind of automation. This is a little more advanced than workflow rules. Again, both process builder and workflow rules, you will see this message. They are asking you to create flow rather than process builder, but we'll also again create it. Now we'll create a what you saw in workflow. We could not create a new contact, right? Sorry, new record, right? It only gave you a field update, but you could not create a new record. But what if you want to create a new record? And many more things you can do using process builders. So I will see record changes. This is when the process starts. The other things are not advanced topic. Don't bother about it. So it's similar. You have to choose which object you want this process builder to fire. Maybe account object. Save. What criteria? Let's give the same criteria. Account active. What is the condition? I will choose the active equals to pick list. Yes. So this is the criteria on which I want to fire. Same. Same criteria as the workflow, right? What actions? Actions is so many things you can do, right? Update records. So workflow rules allows you to update any field on that record or your master detail parent. Only that, nothing else. Process builder gives you to you can edit anything. You can directly edit your child records. You can update your master records. Everything is possible. Okay. So now we will go and create record, which was not possible through workflow. So let's create a record. We'll create an automatic contact. So what is our task? Action name is contact create. What is the record type? Record type is contact, right? This time. This is a contact record. What is mandatory in contact? Last name. So I have to put some last name. I can put a hardcode text. So I can put something like flow. Sorry, not flow, process builder. Right? What else? There is field reference and formula. Let's add the first name. Name is not mandatory, but let me give some kind of a formula. What formula I will build? I will say this process builder is firing from account, right? So I want to add account name. Okay. On top of that, I want to add automatic quote and plus auto, then account name. This will go into the first name. This was hard coded. This is not hard coded. This is a formula which I have created. Third is I want to associate this contact with this account, right? So I have to pull the foreign key value of that account, right? It needs an ID field. Where from I will get it? I will use a field reference. What is a field reference? Account ID. I will take the account ID from the account. This is account and save it. Any questions so far? Any confusion understanding this? What we have created? So
Sir, why অটোটা কেন ডাবল প্যারেন্থেসিস মধ্যে রেখেছেন স্যার?
কারণ এটা
ডাবল কোটেশন
না, এটা টেক্সট তো।
আচ্ছা, তো টেক্সট ছাড়া তাহলে ওটা ডাবল কোটেশন না নিলে হবে না?
না, এটা ফর্মুলার ভেতরে তুমি ডাবল কোট নিলে টেক্সট না থাকলে তুমি কি করে বুঝবে যে কোনটা এটা একটা স্ট্রিং কনক্যাটিনেশন হচ্ছে নাকি এটা নাম্বার এডিশন হচ্ছে? অটোটা কি? অটো যদি কোটের মধ্যে না রাখো, অটোটা ও ভাববে একটা ফিল্ড নেম।
আচ্ছা,
বুঝতে পারছো?
ওকে,
তখন ও ঝাড়া খাবে।
ওকে স্যার।
আচ্ছা, তাহলে এটাকেও আমি অ্যাক্টিভেট করে দিতে পারি। দিয়ে লেটস নাও ক্রিয়েট। ক্রিয়েশনে দিয়েছিলাম কি ওটা আমরা? তাহলে টেস্ট অ্যাকাউন্ট করে দেবো, সেভ করবো। এ দেখো কন্ট্যাক্ট অটোমেটিক্যালি তৈরি হয়ে গেছে। ওয়ার্কফ্লোটাও কিন্তু ফায়ার করছে। এই অ্যাকশনও তৈরি হয়েছে, এই টেক্সট ডেসক্রিপশন ফিল্ডটাও আপডেট হয়ে গেছে, তুমি একটা মেলও পাচ্ছ। দেখো অ্যাকাউন্ট 3 টেস্টের মেলও পেলে, তার মানে ওয়ার্কফ্লোটাও ফায়ার করছে।
So can you please speak in English?
Sorry about it. I completely forgot. Yeah. So when the question comes in, I just switch it. So till now, any confusion, Charu?
No, it's okay.
Baki ठीक है ना? Okay.
Yeah.
So the idea is when the process builder is basically getting fired, at that point the workflow rule is still also getting fired. Nothing stopping the workflow rule from getting fired, right?
Okay.
The workflow rule is creating the actions. It is updating the fields. It is updating everything. The workflow rule is taking care of whatever it was doing. The process builder is now basically what we have done is that we have created a contact, added the free last name was mandatory, right? So you had to put some values. So we have hard coded process builder. The first name we have created a formula which is the addition of auto plus account name. You have to put this in quotation, otherwise you will think that it is a field. Okay. And of course, we had to use a field reference to put the ID value of the account into the account ID column of contact so that it is associated now. Okay. So now let's see if I have gone there, the related list, you will see this is the contact which got created. You see, auto has got added with the account name and has been put in the first name. Account is now loaded up here. This is a field reference through which we have done it. And so this and the process builder was the hard coded last time, right? See? Any confusion? So record creation is something which you can achieve using process builders, which you cannot achieve using flows. Both of these things fired after the record got saved, right? So validation rule passed the record, it saved into the database, then it fired. Clear? Now let's look up the main flows. This is something you have to learn by heart. It is very, very vital that you master flows. And there is a separate trailhead for flows. So go through those apart from your normal trail. So you search for flows here. And I will give assignments on flows also. So don't worry about it. So complete these trails. Flow builders with build flows with full flow builder, trails, whatever you want to see, and a project. Build simple flow, and there is, I think, another trail. No, that's fine. So build flows with flow builder and build a simple flow. This trail, I am pasting it on your WhatsApp group. Finish these trails. It is absolutely essential for you to master flows. And flows is a little tough to learn, but it is very, 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 very powerful. You can do a lot of things on which you had to write coding, programming, you can completely avoid. So you can take away job from developers if you master flows very well. Okay. So let's see how powerful it is. So the same contact building, let's do this using flows. How can I create an automatic contact using flows? Where is the flow? So here flow are of 5 types. Okay. Screen flow, record triggered flow, schedule triggered flow, platform driven, auto launched. We will not discuss these two. This is subflow. This you can fire from another flow. Okay. Or you can fire this from outside. And this is platform driven, advanced topic of integration. We'll not discuss this. We'll see the first two, the most used. And this is you can schedule it. That means you can run every night. Yeah. But the same logic, it does not have any UI. So it is quite similar to record triggered flow, but it works on many records at the same time. Okay. So let's first understand the record triggered flow. Record triggered flow does not have any UI and it works same as workflow or process builders. But the only difference is that you have the option to fire this before save and after save. Workflow and process builders do not allow you to fire this logic before save. It only fires after save. But here you can have before save, which is this one, or after save. So when to use before save, when to use after save. If you are working on any fields, you want to modify auto populate values on any fields on the same object on which you are firing this flow, choose the before flow. And if you are working on any record which is not firing this flow, be it on the same object or outside object, you should choose after. So If I want to update the description field, which one should I? Description field of the if I write a flow on account and I want to only update the description field, which flow should I use, before or after? Charu,
Maybe after.
why after?
I
Yes.
just guessed it.
No. So I gave the formula. I gave the easy answers, right? Before flow is for any field updates on the same object which is firing the flow on the same record. Here what we were doing, here we were in the details, we wanted this description field to be updated, right? Sorry, the account. In this description field, I want to update. Okay, I want to stop my record workflow. Okay, I will stop my workflow now. Deactivate my workflow. So let's go to the workflow. I want to deactivate my workflow. I deactivated it. Okay, I want to go to process builder. And I also want to deactivate this. Both the process builder and workflow has been now deactivated, so it will not run. Okay, but I want to do all this job or whatever I was doing into process workflow and process builder using flows. So first is a description field. Let's forget the email alert and action creation. Let's go to the description field update. Which object should I use for that? Which flow should I use? Field the before flow or after flow? Which object I will use first? Account. Let's select that. This will be fired from created or updated. Yeah. Maybe let's select created only, because we will whatever when one time it is needed, right? Nothing less. And I will put a condition, right? Let's put a condition. The condition is active equals to yes. That is a condition. So let's read what is written here. Update fields on a record that triggers the flow to run. So the description field is one of the field of the same record which I want to update, right? Any confusion, guys? Please ask any questions. It is very important that you understand what is the difference between these two. Yeah. Description field is one of the fields which I want to populate or update, which is the same record which is firing this flow. That is why I will choose the before flow. Done. If I will show you now. So this is before flow. What I need to do? I just need to, you see, update triggering record. Which field I want to update? Description. That's it. Which field I want to update? Description field. What I want to update? This field is updated using flow. Before flow. Save. Activate. Can we test it now? Let's go to account, new account, test account 7, and active is equal to yes. This field is updated using before flow. Right? So simple. So a record starts, I update the record, and I end it. Khatam. What is there here? Use the account record that triggered the flow. Simple. It is by default, and I just choose the description field, and I can also add a filter condition if I want. If I want not to update this in certain conditions. Okay. So first flow is created. Now I want to create the contact also. Now contact is a different object. This is a different record. But which event? Event is account create again. So I have to now choose a after trigger because I am working on a record which is not the record which is firing this flow, right? Which record is firing the flow? The account when it is getting triggered, and condition is active equal to yes. But this time I am creating a contact. So I am using update any record and perform actions like send, email, or more flexible flows after the record is saved into the database. Okay. Another reason is that till the record is not saved into the database, the ID field is not generated, right? So the account will never have his Salesforce ID till the account is in database. So if you want to create a contact and associate this with the account, you need the account ID. Without the account ID, you cannot associate it. So what I am trying to do, you see, when I am going to select elements, or sorry, so here I can add many things. You see, I want to add a contact. How many records I want to create? One. Create a record or use all values from a record. Sorry, use separated resource and literal values. So this is what I am using. That means which object I am selecting, the contact, and I will put the field names and the values here. So last name is mandatory, so I have to put the last name. What I am putting it here, last name is hard coded. So after flow. First name needs to be here I want to take the value of the account name. How will I get that? The record which is firing the flow is stored in $record. You see, it is showing account. I will create the name field from here. I will take the name field from here. That's it. I want to add or append anything before or after, then I can add here auto name. Please remember here I am not using the quotations. Okay, because it's not a formula, direct assignments of values. Okay, so now I will now create the association of the contact with the account. For that, I need to fill up the account ID. Where will I get the account ID? Again, from the record. This is the record variable $record, and I will choose ID. This ID, this is the ID. That's it. Any questions, guys? Done. I will save this. I will say after count. So I am creating some records in other objects. So I am using after. On the same object, I created some update. That's why it was before. I saved both flows. It is now active. Now let's test. So I will create account 8. Active yes. And save. You see, the new contact has been created. This contact is now called auto. This way, this is if you just first name came from appended auto and the account name. Last name is hard coded as after flow. Clear? And the association is also done using this. So same things. What for workflow used to do and process builder used to do, you can do using flows. Yeah, quite simple. Now we will show the other part, which is how to have screens in flows. Let's go to the same requirement, but this time I will use a screen. I will use a screen flow because flows allow you to create screen. What screen? Let's create a screen. What I will probably ask for names. I want to create contact. Okay. So what is the flow label? Create contact. Right. Is the first name, last name, API name, name, contact name. Yeah. This is the flow label. Create contact name field. Name field has many fields. Okay. And I will say done. Then I will have to save this into database. What is the save? This is create record I have to use. So create one record, right? Create contact is already been used. So I will say create contact uh, in database. Something like yeah, one value. Where from I will use the values? I can use the separated values. I can use contact. I can get the values which is last name, mandatory, right? Last name, where will I get that? This is screen components. Yeah, contact name is a screen component. From this, I will get the last name. Then I will get the first name. First name is here. The same screen component, not first name. I need the account association also. So I will go and create the account ID. This time, I have to use a variable called dollar record ID. This one, sorry. Yeah, this one. Please remember, in screen, you cannot use the dollar record variable. So this record ID you have to pass from UI, then only it will fire. Why? I will discuss this. And I save it. It's called create contact from UI. This is a screen flow I am creating, and I am now activating my screen flow. This is the screen element. This is the screen I created. I created database, and I have now used the same screen element. I have used the first name, last name, and record ID. This is the variable I have used, which I have to pass from UI. I don't know which account is going to create it, right? The flow can be embedded in screen. How? If I go to account screen, let's go to sales view. And change the account here directly. Go to account here. And if you go and click any account, and if you go and create this edit page, this will allow you to create a new lightning record page. By default, Salesforce already gives you, but if you want to edit this page, you can go ahead and do that. I hope you have already done this using. So I'm creating a new account record page. This is how a account record page looks like, but I want to embed my flow here. Let's drag and drop the flow component here. You see, flow is there. And here I will select which one? Create contact from UI. This is my thing, right? So this I will create. The one thing to remember here is that I forgot on my record trigger. Where is the screen component from UI? This one. There is a variable which we created, right? We have to create a variable. This variable is not there. So I will create a variable and it is called a text variable. This is a variable which is called record ID, which I use there, right? And I will give the data as text and I will give available for input. Okay. This is exactly what we have used in this one, record variable. So if you now go and create a record ID, you see, this is a text variable which I have used. Now it will turn blue. And I have also marked this record ID as available for input. That means I am passing it from UI. So I will save this and activate it back. So I will now go back to my page once again. And I will go and go to edit page. I will drag and drop the flow here on the screen. Now, if I create, you see, it is asking for the record ID because that is the input parameter which is that flow is wanting. So what I can do is that pass record ID into this variable. If I do this, that means the account which is opening, that record I will pass into this variable. And I will save it. And I want to activate it. When I activate it, it will ask, can I do a org default? That means everybody will get this. Or I want to only show this in any app. Or I want to show this only for some profiles, some record types. So I can do that all. But I will assign it for all. So now if I go back, see, the flow is now embedded in my page. So if I do a test contact from UI to next, you see, test contact from UI is now creating contact here. Any questions, guys? You can fire a flow from these actions also. For that, you have to go to object manager, to that object and create a action. So new action is a creator record action. You have to change it to flow, and this is the flow. Create contact from UI, and you can say contact create. Save it. And then actions can be added into a page many ways. So the easiest way is to go to the page layout, select the page on which you want that action to be created. And if the override is not used, then you can directly go to the button. Quick action, not quick action. Where is the action? Mobile and active actions. Contact create, right? This you can directly drop to override predefined actions, and you can drop it here and save. If you do that, then basically, if you override, refresh the screen, you have create contact now showing up, and this will also fire your flow. Any questions, guys? So that is all about flows, automations. Please to thoroughly go through flows, because that is the complicated 2 assignments we will be providing to you. But before that, we'll start today's assignment updates. So let's go and go through our assignment today. Where are we next? So we talked about two objects, right? The first object was film. In film, I want a name field to show films. It would show actor count, how many people are acting on it. It should be a roll up. In the related list, I want to see the first name, last name of the actors who are working on that film. I want a field in film object wherein I have a roll up of the actors' salaries, summation of all actors' salaries through a roll up summary. I want a text field, or sorry, a currency field to store the production budget in my film. My technical budget would be the production budget minus the total access salary, which many people have already done. If you have not done, please complete this. This should be via a formula. Marketing budget is 10% of the production budget. This should be also via formula. Any questions so far? Good. What would be the actor object showing up? Actor object will show up first name, last name of actors. It will show up through a roll up summary, how many films that actor is working on. In the related list, I must see which film names the actor is working on. In the every film, what the actor is taking, I want to see that beside every film, I want to see what is the salary they are taking, right? In the related list, there should be a validation rule which makes sure that I am not entering less than 10 crore or more than 15 crore in my actor salary. Now these are the new ones. I want to see in per film, like Ranveer Singh is working on Barfi and Tamasha. For every film, I want to see how many co-stars there are there in that film. Co-stars mean any other person who is acting apart from him. So how will that in Barfi? It is one co-star. In Tamasha, it is one co-star. Because Barfi has two actors, Ranbir and Deepika. So total number of actors minus one. That should be the formula. And so every film should show this. So what is the total number of actors in that film? Minus one. That would be the number of co-stars. I want to see what is the number of co-star per film. Then I want to see on that, on Ranveer Singh, beside Ranveer Singh's name, I want to see what are the total number of co-star he's working across all films. So here in Barfi, I have one co-star. In Tamasha, I have one co-star. So total number of co-stars I am working is 2. Priyanka is working in one co-star in Barfi and 2 co-star in Bajirao. So total number of co-star is 3. Deepika is working on 3 films. So 2 co-stars in Bajirao, 1 co-star in Ram, and 1 in Tamasha. So total 4 co-stars she is working on. I want to see this. And Ranveer Singh, the same, has 2 and 1 co-stars, so total 3 co-stars. Okay. I want to also see for every actors what is the total salary he is drawing across all films. That means maybe in Barfi he's getting 10 crore and 30 crore in Tamasha. So total salary what he's drawing, I want to see that also for each actor. Okay. And I want a new new field in called standard salary. Create a new currency field in actor object. Okay. Standard salary field. When you are putting a value in the standard salary field, I want their existing salaries on each films to be changed to standard salaries. Automatically it will change. Okay. Whenever I save, if I put anything on the standard salary and save, then all these salaries will be overwritten. That means for that actor. So if he's like Ranbir Singh, I put 20 crore or 30 crore, then In both films, it will show 30 crore and 30 crore. It will overwrite. It will change automatically. Any questions so far, guys?
Ramesh, can you just change Ranbir Singh to Ranbir Kapoor so that they can relate?
Oh, sorry. Any questions, guys? Are you understanding? Any confusion? Questions? Tell me.
Sir, will that total salary will change in the actor's object?
Of course,
If we,
of course, na. If these are text fields, right? Salary field is text field,
yes.
and there is a roll up for total salary in what film, right?
Hmm.
If Ranbir Singh's salary changes, then of course it will impact the automatically the what will change. Then
Total
the
actor.
total actor salary
Total
will change automatically. Technical budget will change automatically. Marketing budget will also change, right?
Okay, sir. So, sir, we have to import the value standard salary, or we have to input when on the screen.
This field would be on the actor screen. If you
Okay.
put any value here and hit save, by default it will be blank, nothing there.
Okay, sir.
But if you put any value in this field and hit a save button, all films where this actor is working, it will change. This value will be copy pasted in everywhere. Yeah, so we'll test it.
Okay.
We'll test it with some value on the fly. So overwrite, it will not be standard. It will be I am saying that override all salaries to this, all salaries of this actor. Okay. Any questions so far? I am giving a hint. This automation you have to do using a flow. Okay. You have to write a flow so that the data is copy pasted in salaries. So I am already giving you a hint. It is you have to use a flow here. Any questions, confusions? Ask me. No questions? Great work. Carry on. Before the second session, next sessions, please show me this. Otherwise, the next session would be only figuring it out how to fix this. We will not proceed further till you have completed this assignment. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much. We'll stop the recording and upload it.
Thank
Please
you,
hold on.
Shovanji sir, and thank you, Animesh sir.